good morning to you this beautiful Saturday morning, the 9th day in the month of August 2025. And we bid you welcome to another exciting edition of Morning Buzz right here on Voice of the People Television. I am David Edwin, and yes, this beautiful morning we promise to give you all of the best when it comes to awesome broadcasting, and of course to give you the best of information that you really would want on a beautiful weekend like today. And yes, top of our radar this morning, 2027 presidential election, PDP wants members against endorsing President Bola Tinubu. This is one of our major talking points this morning, and we would urge you to stay with us all through. And again, another of our talking point this beautiful morning would be the situation where party politics is taking place in some places across Nigeria. Well, interestingly, Bauchi governor is urging Peter Obi to return to the PDP ahead of the 2027 elections. Well, these are our major talking points this morning, and we would urge you to stay with us and enjoy every single bit of it, because we promise that it's just going to be another exciting ride on television, just the very way that you love it. But of course, you know how we do it. We also would be having other interesting stories. But before we proceed, we would kindly urge you to click on the subscription button if you haven't on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Again, you can also take us with you anywhere in the world just by clicking www.vop.ng for fresh and trending stories like you would really want it. And you know, with as at VOP TV, Voice of the People TV, your opinion matters to us, and therefore we would encourage you to call and share your thoughts and reactions with us. Our WhatsApp line will be scrolling down the screen there, and you can, of course, send us a WhatsApp message or even call us. Let us know what your opinions are on the conversation that we'll be having this morning, because you know, with us you have more than a voice. All right, then let's jump to very interesting trending topics that did trend yesterday, and of course till the early hours of this morning. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has pledged to work towards enabling eligible inmates, particularly those awaiting trial, to vote in Nigeria's elections. Now, in line with court judgment affirming their rights, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu stressed the need for clear legal provisions from the National Assembly to guide implementation and address concerns such as registration, polling units, campaign, and media access in correctional facilities. Controller General of Nigeria Correctional Service, Sylvester Nwakuche, urged the extension of electoral rights to the over 81,000 inmates nationwide, as Yakubu reaffirmed the Commission's determination to work with and within the law to enfranchise these inmates. Well, I'm not going to be doing this alone this beautiful morning. I would have loved to just jump on this alone, but no. It's not about time for me to do that, and I can't even do it alone, because I know you'll be urgent to know who is with us this beautiful morning. We have with us Dr. Peter Anosike. Dr. Peter is Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst, and of course a major economist right here in Nigeria, and yes, a major writer as well. Well, let's not waste time and let's dive into it. Doctor, a very good morning to you this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right then, thank you for always joining us on a beautiful Saturday like this. Well, let's get to it immediately. INEC chair, I'm talking about Mahmood Yakubu, has said, look, it's about time we follow some guidelines that, of course, was brought to us by observation bodies and, of course, international observation bodies as well, as concerning how elections should be done and done right, which again, they have also said that it's about time they stop disenfranchising people, the inmates now, over 81,000 of them. First off, what's your general overview of this situation? And then looking at these kind of statements coming from the INEC chair, how do you think this can be carried out judiciously so that these guys also can be part of the election?
Well, for me, it is a pure misplacement of priority.
How do you mean?
Because voting in an election is not their problems. Understand?
Okay.
Nigeria Constitution states that if you can vote, you can also be voted for. That's what the Nigeria Constitution says.
So in other words, what you're saying now is if these guys can vote, they can also have
They
a
can
candidate.
also be voted for. Understand me? So that's what the Nigerian Constitution states. And their main priority, those there, is freedom. Many of them have been in awaiting trial for 10 years. So voting in an election is not their problem. Their problem is how to secure their freedom so that they can go to their houses. Now, an instance, being in awaiting trial is like somebody that is suspended. You don't know whether you'll be going today or next year. So what they should be agitating for is for speedy trial of their cases, so that they will know an awaiting trial doesn't know his fate. He doesn't know whether he's going to prison or he will be sent back home. So they should try them. If they are guilty, they will be sentenced. And once someone is sentenced, you know that if you are given 5 years, you know that in the next 5 years you will be going home.
But then again, on the part of wanting to clear out the concerns and the name of Yakub, I'm talking about Mahmoud Yakub, the INEC chair. He did say that there is a need for a clear legal provision from the National Assembly, which is what he is asking for them to guide the implementation and, of course, address the concerns of these kind of registration of polling units and campaigns and, of course, media access in correctional facilities. With this kind of conversation, it's looking even more like Mahmoud Yakub is also clear on what he wants as well.
This is another way of asking for extra funding, because that's what it's going to entail. Okay. Because for prisoners to vote, for me, those institutions are prisons. There's nothing like correctional center. They're not correcting anything. Understand?
But they are correct. They're not correcting.
So their condition is still the same.
Oh.
Understand?
Okay.
No renovation of their no increase in their welfare package. Understand? There's nothing that has been happening when they were in known as prisons that has changed.
Okay. You're talking to the part of facilities in the prisons.
Sure. So nothing has changed. So it is still a prison yard. Understand?
Okay.
So the correctional center is just trying to rub a lipstick on a pig. Understand? So which doesn't change anything. Okay. So their welfare has never improved. What these people need is those who are in awaiting trial, speedy trial of their cases, and those who have been convicted, let them learn skills so that when they are released, they'll be useful to themselves, to their family, and to the country. Voting in the election is none of their problems. If you put their scale of preference 1 to 10, voting in a nation will not even make number 9.
Now, Doctor, there's something a bit concerning for me here. Is there a possibility that the Controller General of the Correctional Service of Nigeria, I'm talking about Sylvester Nwakuche, urging the extension of electoral rights on inmates? Is there a possibility that he's also not fully aware of what the Nigerian Constitution says about one who is eligible to vote?
For me, he should know. He should know. Because in Nigeria, once you are a convict, you cannot vote, you cannot be voted for, understand me, and you cannot contest.
Okay.
Once you are a convict, you cannot contest an election in Nigeria. And if the Constitution is amended, it means that those in prison can even stand for elections.
Exactly. That's practically what it means because of what the law states.
They have to do their campaigns too.
Okay.
Someone standing for the election must campaign so that people will vote for him. He has to sell his agenda, his manifesto to the people, which means they will allow him to go out and campaign to the people. And imagine the hell that can bring to the country.
Now, you said he should know. I'm talking about Sylvester now. That
he should know. You cannot be at that height and without knowing what the Constitution says about inmates.
So there's a difference between knowing and doing.
Sure.
Now, looking at these kind of conversation now, is there something that the Controller General is not telling Nigerians that we should be unveiling as it stands? Because if the Controller General should know that the law states that whoever has the right to vote can be voted for, why call for the need to extend electoral rights to an inmate that is still awaiting trial?
You know, there's a very big difference between an awaiting trial and a convict.
Okay.
An awaiting trial has not been sentenced.
Right.
He's just there, and tomorrow, if he's asked to go home, he had not served any term. So, for those people, they can vote, and they can also be voted for. Understand me?
Okay.
Just like they say that an accused is deemed innocent until found guilty.
Right.
So those people have not been found guilty. So if they can vote, it means that they can from there stand for election. Understand?
Okay.
They can from there stand for an election, not just voting.
Now,
understand me? Because if I'm to vote and cannot be voted for, it's an infringement on my rights.
Okay. Now, that's on the part of the Constitution and what it states. Looking at these conversations, Doctor, what implication can these conversations have on our electoral stability going forward?
For me, what they are trying to do is to create a distraction. Because INEC already has their hands full. Some people have sent their requests to be registered as political parties, about 180-something as we speak.
Okay.
And for you to register them as a political party, they have to submit a minimum of 24 addresses in the states, right, which must be verified. That's going from one state to another. So they already have their hands filled up. So this is a distraction. Because they're already complaining of, that's why they were employing ad hoc staffs. Because you don't have enough.
In other words, INEC might just be overwhelmed again if they should delve into this kind of conversation.
That's what they're just trying to create a kind of a distraction.
All right.
And for the correctional centers, they are now in the news. Understand me?
Oh.
They are now in the news.
Okay.
They are trending as we speak.
Okay. That's another level though. All right, then let's jump to another serious conversation or banter that made the round yesterday. Peter Gregory, the Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, said he governed Anambra State for 8 years without misappropriating public funds. Speaking at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, he noted that tackling corruption is simpler than perceived, claiming 60% of corruption would end if leaders and their families stopped stealing. Well, he cited his time as a bank chairman, and Obi, of course, challenged anyone to find evidence of personal gains or improper loans during his tenure. Interestingly, Mr. Peter Obi insisted no kobo from Anambra State was ever linked to him, and he emphasized that integrity in leadership sets the tone for governance. Now, looking ahead of 2027, he pledged to serve only 4 years if elected president, saying meaningful reforms can begin within that time. There is a lot you can do in 4 years. Those are his words. And, well, this, again, is one that every opposition from Labour Party is currently talking about. Doctor, this statement by Mr. Peter Gregory will be saying, as it stands, corruption can be defeated 60%. We hear politicians say corruption, when you fight it, it fight backs. Do you think that, according to some quarters, Mr. Peter Obi is just trying to be politically right to get the mind of people to wanting to have to consistently look at him as a very, very viable candidate for 2027?
Well, Peter Obi left office in 2013.
Right.
And this is 2025. That's 12 years after. EFCC, ICPC, or nobody has come and asked him to account for anything. Understand?
Okay.
No EFCC, no ICPC has ever invited him for anything. Even when a court in Anambra said that he should present his tax clearance certificate, he carried them in Ghana must go to the court that to show them that is up to date.
That was a very laughable one for me when I saw that report. I'm wondering, why carry a full Ghana must
No,
go?
that's to show them that is not a tax dodger, which most Nigerian politicians who I call billionaires without enterprise always do. So he is telling you that he is a responsible Nigerian. So for me, tax can be, corruption can be reduced depending on who is at the top. People, just like children learn by observation, not by what their parents tell them. So when you are on top and you are upright, those under you must be forced to be upright.
Okay, so in other words, when the top is very, very doing well, everything beneath it works well.
So, sure.
All right, then I understand from my producers now that our Bini guest is in, and I'm talking about Dr. Brighton Onukuko. A very, very good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning, viewers. Nice to meet you this morning.
Thank you so very much for being here. Well, you've been following the conversation, and of course, this is a bit of one of the trends that did trended yesterday. The statement from Mr. Peter Obi saying that 60% of corruption would end if leaders and their families stop stealing the public funds. What's your overview of this statement? And of course, you know that that statement would had, of course, backlashes of opposition trying to say the otherwise and saying, look, Mr. Peter Obi should be talking about what he's going to do for the government or what he did in his government when he was governor of Anambra State. What's your take as well?
Well, the word corruption look like a normal thing in Nigeria. And again, the practice is also something that people are involved in, but somehow they don't see it in that light because when something becomes too much, it becomes like a norm. For Peter Obi making this statement, I think this is not the first time he's saying that, and of course, like was rightly said just now, there has not been any trace or maybe effort to seek him. Probably this is what he has done wrong, maybe facing one financial crime or the other. There is not. So this is not the first time he's saying it. But talking about the fact that if we can address corruption, 60% or whatever, the truth is this: what we are facing, the challenges we are facing in Nigeria are because of corruption. And if there is a tone from the top, I believe a lot of things will fall into place. Things are not working. Why? Because what should have been to the general public is being siphoned, is being taken over, is being shared by a selected few. That is corruption. And, anytime we talk about this issue of corruption, there are ways people react. Like Mr. Anosike said just that, billionaires without enterprise, they are always there because when you keep asking some of them, you have XYZ money in your account or in your possession, can you give an account of how you got it? They don't have explanation for it. And so if corruption is addressed, if our systems are working, our systems are in place, a lot of things will change. If you remember, this same kind of statement Goodluck Jonathan made that kind of statement then when he said stealing is not corruption, but people didn't want to. The opposition took it the other way around without paying attention, making explanation to it. They just started saying all they wanted to say. The truth is, if we address corruption, over 60% of Nigeria's problem would stop, and this has to come from the top. So whatever the opposition have to say, no, it's about practicing it. Let's put actions into words and we'll see results.
All right, then. I'm going to stay with you in another few seconds before we jump to the looking at what the front pages are saying. Interestingly, you mentioned, and of course, Doctor did mention as well here, that EFCC, ICPC has not called on this man to come and account for anything as concerning when he was in power as the governor of Anambra State. That's another strong statement stating that institutions can truly work when they are working. But we see these days that some persons are invited and when they go, they seem to leave without even being tried. One that comes to mind is the former governor of Kogi State, the one they call the White Lion himself. I'm talking about Yaya Bello. And of course, several of them who have had such, allegations over them in the tunes of billions of public funds. Do you think that at this point, the statement of your former governor, I'm talking about Adams Oshomole, saying that when you port to the ruling party, your sins are forgiven? Is that what we're seeing happening in institutions that are supposed to be holding people, public holders, accountable for public funds?
Well, when we talk about system working, we're talking about it holistically. Okay. It also involves public institutions, because some of those public institutions, what do? They use money to cover crime. So if, or probably maybe influence or gift or whatever to cover crime, and that again is another aspect of corruption. Corruption comes in different shades. You see, one thing I would say about those persons who maybe they have, like you did mention, the person of Yaya Bello and some others who may have faced EFCC or ICPC at a particular time, and seemingly they are still walking on the street. One thing you can use to test them truly is Peter Obi making his statement, for example. Right. This is not the first time he's making that statement. He has been making his statement at different forums, wherever he goes, wherever maybe they are guarding or is opportune to talk. Let these persons who somehow have, probably they've gotten off the hook of EFCC or ICPC, let them also come out in a public forum on the media to say they are not corrupt, they've never stolen a kobo or whatever. They cannot do it. The Yaya Bello you were talking about, he was running eta scatter, but somebody like Peter Obi is still moving around. So to tell you that he believes in what he's saying, he believes in himself, and he has evidence to back it up. So we cannot compare him, who can openly come out and say, I have not stolen a kobo from probably a government cover, or no corruption can be traced to me. You can't use it to compare those who are busy running, decamping, doing all manner of things to go and probably just to cover what they want to, their track of what they've stolen in terms of public fund. For the likes of, for what you said about the person of Comrade Adams Oshomole, well, I see that as a joke, and I just take it as a joke. But the truth is, if the top get it right, every other person will definitely fall in place. If our system would work, or should be working, it will take charge of even those institutions that appears to have taken money over the work that they're supposed to do.
All right then. But interestingly, I would have loved to continue this conversation, but I see Doctor want to itch on something in 30 seconds. Let's have you.
What Adam said is not a joke, it is working.
But he said he's seen it as a joke.
But now, Hadi Sisirika, the immediate pastor,
aviation minister,
is now a traditional ruler in Castina. So after stealing our money with the Nigeria Air, where he borrowed the Ethiopian airline and painted it green, white, green, and $30.5 billion disappeared within 45 minutes. How was he rewarded? He was given a traditional ruler in Katsina State.
Oh well.
Understand me? He was given a traditional, elevated into a traditional ruler. Understand? Because he is politically correct. He is in APC. Imagine him being in PDP. So what Adam Soshomo said is working. It's true.
All right then. I get the fact that Doctor had to put that in. Yes, Doctor Bright.
Know something.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Nigerians must know something. For the fact that these people are being covered by their political leaders or political affiliation does not mean that those things that they did are not wrong. They may be covered today, but tomorrow things can change. That is just the truth. And they will pay for whatever offense they've committed.
But following the fact that Adams Oshiomhole did make that statement, it totally is indicting the ruling party right now. Don't you think so? And practically that's what everybody seems to be falling in line. And some persons have said this is the reason for several defection of political parties by political leaders.
Ifeanyi Okowa,
that is why they are losing their value by the day.
Okay, all right. I think I understand what he's trying to say as well, Doctor. Because, yeah, what he's just trying to say in essence is whether you like it or not, porting from one particular party to another, particularly the ruling party, sternly is taking your value that your people saw in you off you when you jump ship. But of course, because of our time, we have to wrap this conversation up. Let's get to looking at what the front pages of the national dailies are saying in just a couple of minutes. And of course, that would happen after this short break. Please do stay with us. All right, then, glad to have you back. It is still the Saturday morning buzz right here on Voice of the People Television. Well, interestingly, before that break, I said we're going to be looking at what the front pages of the national dailies are saying this beautiful morning. And we have less than a couple of minutes to do that. I'm going to kick it off with the Saturday Tribune. And the banner headline right here in the front page of the Saturday Tribune reads, "Daylight Bloody Attack in Kwara." Daylight bloody attack in Kwara. The sub-writer of that headline reads, "Bandits abduct, kill residents. Police, state government talk tough." You can read it up on page 4 of the Saturday Tribune. Well, above the nameplate of the Saturday Tribune, "How 1966 coup scared me away from politics." This is coming from Chief Alex Duduyemi. Another headline there above the nameplates there, "Tinubu's 2 years better than Obasanjo's 8 years." This is coming from the presidency. And I dare say this morning, I really wonder why the presidency consistently defend every single opposition statement that comes on the air. But then, that is what it is. If you cannot defend yourself, maybe they will just think you have done that crime. All right, then let's look at other headlines. There is a major pictorial here, but other headlines by the side of that pictorial. Osun is in serious pain over seizure of local government fund. This is coming from Aji Safe, the Southwest PDP chair, and the sub-writer of that particular headline reads, "Atta Oja joins call for release of council allocation." Well, if you read that up on I think page, I'm not so sure, page 7, yes, page 7 of the Saturday Tribune, you can, of course, know what that headline is saying. Other headlines, "If the presidency is clean, Nigerians will be corruption-free." Well, this is coming from Peter Obi, and of course, we did shed more light on that particular statement by Mr. Peter Obi. Other headlines, "ADC, why INEC has not recognized Mark orders." You can read that up also on page 8 of the Saturday Tribune. And then the bottom strip there, there is a particular headline there. Abductors of Ondo varsity worker demands 7 million naira ransom. Abductors of Ondo varsity worker demand 7 million ransom, 7 million naira ransom for that one. Of course, you can read it up on page 4. Because of our time, let's just take 30 seconds each from our analysts. And I understand right now that Mr. Dele Fanimo is also joining us virtually. He's joined us virtually. And interestingly, I want to start from him. Mr. Dele Fanimo is a seasoned reporter and, of course, Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst as well. Mr. Fanimo, a very good morning to you this morning.
Morning. Can there be any good this morning with the bloody encounter in Kwara?
Quite unfortunate one there. Quite an unfortunate one. How would you react to that particular story, owing to the fact that they are neighbors to where you are presently?
Please, can you just say that again?
I said, how would you react to that particular headline this morning, owing to the fact that Kwara State is also neighbors within the southwest of Nigeria, of course, where you are as well?
Well, you see, these things do happen, but unfortunately, it's unfortunate that we are experiencing this kind of thing. This was the same terrible news we woke up to about 2 or 3 years ago in our war, where worshippers were killed in their numbers in a Catholic church, you recall. And now we are witnessing another one in Kwara. It's so sad, and unfortunately, the security apparatus were caught napping this time around again.
Unfortunately,
it shows that eternal vigilance should be our watchword in this country if we must survive.
All right, then. Let's, because of our time, really, because we really have to just do this sharply, let's take your opinion as well, Dr. Bright, all the way from Benin. Which of the headlines would you want to react to? I don't know if you still want to stay on the one that Mr. Fanimo reacted to. Which of the headlines would you want to react to?
Well, the same headline about Kwara killing. But the second line that talked about police and state government talk.
Yeah.
You see, enough of all this talking tough. They should act tough. They should act tough. Nigerians need results. You know, what don't they have intelligence? Before this bandit struck or whatever, no information, nothing, before they travel to where they got to and so many other things. What are they doing?
All right.
What are they doing? It's not about talking tough. They should act tough.
All right, then.
Because we talk about killings now. It is lives that have been consumed in that place. Lives have been destroyed. They are lives.
Right. Unfortunately, really. But let's come to the studio quickly. Dr. Peter, which of the headlines you want to react to? I don't know if you want to stay with that.
One by the president said that Tinubu's 2 years,
2 years is better than Obasanjo's 8 years.
That is the greatest joke of the year.
How do you mean?
Government, we know government, we measure good governance by the quality of life of the people.
Okay.
That's how we measure good, because governance is about the welfare of the people. So when you compare Obasanjo's government and Tinubu's government, it's like trying to compare heaven and hell. Understand me?
Okay.
Understand me?
Put a perspective to it, maybe on a particular sector.
In all the sectors, Nigeria have never had it bad. Tinubu's government is the worst that we have ever had since 1960. Tinubu's government is even under the military. The military are performing far better than Tinubu. So comparing him and Obasanjo is like comparing hell and heaven. Tinubu's own being hell.
All right.
Understand me? So there's no comparison whatsoever.
Okay then. Well, this is where we have to draw anchor on the front pages this beautiful morning on the Saturday morning, boys. We'll go on another quick break. When we return, we'll be looking at the major talking points, which is 2027 presidential election. PDP warns members ahead and against endorsing President Bola Tinubu. You would recall that some members of the PDP had endorsed President Bola Tinubu. These and more is what we'll be talking about when we return after this quick break. Please do stay with us.
Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP this morning, 8 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Well, glad to have you back. It is still the Saturday Morning Buzz right here on Voice of the People Television. I want to say thank you for consistently joining us. Well, let's get to it almost immediately. The People's Democratic Party, PDP's National Working Committee, has issued a strong warning to its members, cautioning them against endorsing President Bola Tinubu for a second term in the 2027 general elections. Now, this comes after some PDP chieftains publicly declared support for Tinubu's re-election bid, an action the party says is a clear violation of its constitution and a threat to its position as the country's main opposition. In a statement released on Friday, party spokesperson Debo Ologunagba described such a move as anti-party conduct, referencing Section 10, subsection 6 of the PDP Constitution, which prohibits members from aligning with other parties in ways that undermine the party. The party, for the one that ongoing defines, could attract stiff sanctions as stipulated in its constitution. With the PDP National Convention scheduled for November the 15th and 16th of 2025 in Ibadan, Oyo State, the National Working Committee is calling on all members to remain loyal and focused. Well, of course, the leadership stressed the importance of unity at this critical time, urging members to recommit to strengthening the party's internal structures and electoral chances, while cautioning that those working against the party's interest will face disciplinary measures. I was actually smiling while I was, trying to read that. But this is a major conversation which we'll be talking about this morning, and joining us to make sense of these conversations, like you've already known, or if you're just tuning in, right here in the studio with me is Dr. Peter Anosike, who is Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst and a major economist in Nigeria, of course, and an amazing writer as well. And joining us all the way from our Benin studio is Dr. Brighton Oviokogo. Doctor is also joining us this beautiful morning and virtually as well. Joining us is Mr. Dele Fanimo, a seasoned reporter, and of course, Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst. I'm going to start here from the studio. Dr. Peter, as it stands, PDP seem to want to be talking tough, but some persons have said if you want to talk tough, why not act tough? Looking at these conversations of people, some of their party chieftains endorsing President Bola Tinubu, who is in another party, how concerning is that move alone? And how very disturbing can it be for party faithfuls who think that they are still very, very strong going into the 2027 election?
These people are trying to deceive Nigerians.
How do you mean?
That's what that's what these people are doing. They are trying to deceive Nigerians. Understand?
How do you mean?
The real PDP is dead. The real PDP is dead. This segment of PDP are taking instruction from Aso Rock. They are being run from Aso Rock. Understand?
Well, Dr. Peter, do you have any evidence to this kind of
I'm telling you of my opinion. I'm not telling you the opinion of VOP.
Okay.
Understand me? I'm telling you my own opinion.
So what would make you want to stay on this opinion of yours?
Okay, fine. You ask in law, they say who an legislator should prove.
Right.
If you witness what happened during the local, River State will be having their local government election very soon. At the hall where those candidates emerges, PDP members and APC members were in the same hall. Understand?
Okay.
Jointly presenting that this person from PDP should go for this local government. This person from APC should go from this local government inside one hall with a Nyesom Wike presiding. How can you define it? How can you define? So PDP and APC are now presenting one candidate. Understand?
Okay. Okay.
So what do you have to say about that?
Now, Debo, the spokesperson for PDP, did mention, and of course, reference Section 10 and subsection 6 of the party's constitution, which prohibits members from aligning with other parties in ways that undermine the PDP.
So didn't Debo saw what happened there in River State?
No, that's on another level. I want to talk about the person of Nyesom Wike that you mentioned a couple of seconds when you were talking. Having to be working on the APC as a minister, how very interesting can that conversation be? Because isn't that even against the party? I want to start from
that's what I'm telling you, that they thought that they are wise, that they can deceive people. So PDP is dead. The current PDP is working for Bola Tinubu, and that's why they are wooing Goodluck Jonathan to come and contest, so that the vote from the south will be further divided. Understand? So this is their game. This is their game. Even what Makinde, who is say that he wants to run as a presidential candidate, may even step down in January 2027, so that he's stepping down for Bola Tinubu. So these are just caught gisters. The true PDP people have moved into ADC. So all these people that you are hearing, Ghana and others are agents of APC trying to deceive people that they are still in PDP.
All right, then let's move this conversation to Benin City, where Dr. Bright is still with us. Doctor, this again is coming from the heels of the fact that on a particular fora, the likes of Ayofaya Shea, a chieftain, a former governor, let's even put that there, of Ekiti State, also endorsed another APC governorship candidate for another election. This again following Debo's statement of Section 10, subsection 6 of the Constitution of PDP. Is there the possibility that the likes of Jerry Ghana seem to be, on one hand, working with the government of the day, just like Dr. Peter Anosike alleged here, plus looking at the body language of some of the PDP chieftain coming into this election circle, how would you describe the PDP going into 2037? Can we see them as a formidable force if they can woo the likes of former President Goodluck Jonathan again to be their presidential candidate?
Well, first, I would have loved to ask PDP, where was Section 10, this so-called Section 10, when Nyesom Wike was doing all he was doing? Because for the past 2 years, this is the first time I'm hearing about anti-party or a member of the political party supporting others. I don't have issue with Wike being a minister under the APC government. Why? Because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the president of APC, he's president of Nigeria. So anybody can be appointed based on competence. So I don't have issue with that. But definitely we knew the role Wike played to sabotage PDP in support of APC. So the question is, where is Section 10? I don't know if I mentioned on this today before. I will mention it again here. As 2027 stands, the only party that is standing at the moment is the APC. The PDP, I don't know where they are. It's my opinion. They need to prove to me that they still exist somewhere. Labour have their issue. Most of those in PDP chieftain, they moved down to ADC, which gave me the need to ask, is PDP actually still existing, and which PDP is making this statement? They are no longer the major opposition. We are still waiting for an opposition to come up. And the fact that they are calling on Goodluck Jonathan to come and contest, I so much respect the person of President Goodluck Jonathan, who bowed out when the ovation was loudest, coming back again to come and take that position. That popularity he had before is no longer there. That popularity he had before is no longer there. So the advisory role is playing, and that of peace is very good for him. He should not come and soil his image with the PDP ticket. Whatever thing they are doing, in fact, in most of the political parties, consider the people who are fronting their interests, as far as I'm concerned, is a game plan towards ensuring that Bola Ahmed Tinubu would have a smooth landing, a soft landing come 2027. We are yet to see a major opposition as far as 2027 election is concerned.
All right, then. I'm still staying with you, Dr. Bright. There is the conversation about the fact that the person of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike seemed to be bigger than the PDP as it were. And some say this because he has the wherewithal, the fundings to gather such strength and confidence. Is this the reality of PDP? Because judging by what Debo said, Section 10 and Subsection 6 should have even made them ban and even force the person of Nyesom Wike out of the PDP. Why do you think they did not do
that? You see, whatever thing someone is doing has a time, and of course it may also have expiration date. After President Goodluck Jonathan stepped down or defeated by Buhari, that's the APC government, it's like the party was in limbo, and the person of Nyesom Wike held the party until it came down until the elections. It was the one holding the party, controlling the party, being in charge of the party. That's kudos to him. But again, when all that he was doing has expired, the time was up because he wasn't happy with the way he was treated towards the 2023 presidential election. He was not happy with that, and he chose to sabotage the party. I believe that because of what the role he played before, he had so many stronghold on the party, hence he's doing what he's doing. But because I asked before, when from 2023 election, the role of Wike was very, very clear in sabotaging the effort of PDP and other political parties in support of the APC. This Section 10 should have been
enacted,
referred to, and he would have left the party. But I believe he has so many persons he has put in place, and they cannot go against what he has said. Hence, it appears that he's having a stronghold on the PDP. I saw a cartoon some time ago wherein there was a boat. One was named PDP, another was named ADC. people were, the likes of Atiku and others were in the boat of ADC, leaving only Wike. And I asked the question: is Wike that powerful to be able to chase all these people out of PDP without them making reference to is being involved in anti-party activity, that it should be suspended from the party? So I don't know what they are saying. I want to support Dr. Anosike when he said that this current PDP is taking instruction from Aso Rock, and from Aso Rock as it is, Wike is the one giving that instruction to them.
All right, then. Let's take this conversation to Mr. Dele Fanimo. Well, interestingly, Mr. Dele Fanimo, you have been talking about this conversation for a while, and I want you to talk on the path of the person of Nyesom Wike and the role he played going into the 2023 election. Some party members have said Wike seemed to be the only rock that can never be taken off the PDP presently. Do you think this sentiment is true? That's on one part. And then secondly, looking at the fact that the PDP is presently talking tough about referencing Section 10 and Subsection 6 of the Constitution, do you think that as it stands, the PDP as a party has the weight to maybe sanction any party member, the likes of Ayofayoshe, The Rock, and of course Nyesom Wike, who have been practically sabotaging the party following the subsection 6 of the PDP's constitution?
Well, for me, I want to say that it's PDP that is really sabotaging itself in the build-up to the 2027 election. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. How do you mean?
Yeah, I'll say that there is nobody that should be bigger than a system or an institution. In an ideal society, institutions make individuals, and when the individual becomes too heady, too arrogant, and too self-conceited, the institution takes care of that person. When Zuma wanted to unleash his personal idiosyncrasy in South Africa, the system in South Africa took care of him. On his exit, he was made to face the law. Perhaps if there was no institution in America today, maybe Trump would have overrun the whole world. And so, coming back home, the question you ask yourself is, are there true party men in most of these parties? You can either be the owner of a vehicle, or you are just a passenger in a vehicle. For instance, if you are traveling and your car develops faults, you will struggle, wait, and look for a mechanic or an electrician or a panel beater, whoever is supposed to work on the car. Patiently wait for that car to be fixed before you continue your journey. But if you are just a passenger, the moment the car breaks down, the next available car that is ready to take you from the scene, you jump, you just hop off and you leave. And that is what is happening in our political parties in Nigeria, which I call platforms and not political parties. So, answering your question directly, as it stands today, who is that benevolent in quotes, leader in PDP that can conveniently bankroll PDP to the tune of 10 billion? I can't find any. Now, most of the governors that are in PDP, the antenna of these governors are focused on survival, personal aggrandizement, and inclination for stealing, and not to build structures, not to build institutions, not to build systems. So when you have all this, who is that person that has that stronghold to rein in anybody who wants to be a monster in that gathering?
Okay.
And I've not seen anyone.
Right. Now, I'm still staying with you in a couple of seconds. So maybe you just answer this maybe 31 minutes because of our time. You just said now that nobody can bankroll as it stands. The PDP is to the tune of 10 billion naira. That seems to be a lot of money. And if you want to ask me at this point, I want to find out, do you think the person of Nyesom Wike has done that huge to consistently?
He has done 50 billion. When PDP was in throes of
With
death.
whose money? With whose money?
Seriously, I was
With
going to
whose
ask,
money?
which money
You see,
has he done that?
The
Is that his money?
point
With
is,
whose money?
the point is,
Go ahead.
Which business has
Peter,
Wike run?
Peter, wait now.
Go
You
ahead,
have
go
your
ahead.
time. I have my time. The presenter just asked a question. Whose money? All the political gladiators in this country, show me one that had consistently spent his personal money to push political party. These are state money cornered by individuals, spent by individuals to further their personal interest. So, who was Wike before he became local government chairman, later chief of staff, later minister and governor? Tell me the history of these people. How many of them had risen to the level of the Otedolas of this world, the Dangotes of this world, before they found themselves holding the reins of power in political parties? If Wike made money and he decided not to spend it on PDP, nobody can force him to do it.
All right then.
But what we are saying is, for a political party to survive in this country today, with the heavy monetization of politics in Nigeria, it will take a lot of guts
All right then.
to dare and ignore Wike by the remnants of what is left of PDP today.
All right then. Because of our time, really, I would want to take another round session of a particular question to all of our analysts today. And I'm going to start with the studio. Dr. Peter, is there a possibility that the PDP, aside the fact that, yes, you said the ones that are there are working with the APC, is there a possibility that the PDP that was at George, the biggest party in Africa, under the likes of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, is no more having that weight and structure to stand any political circle of election again as it stands now?
I've told you PDP is dead. The real PDP, which Adamu Cheroma and ex-Ekweme formed, is dead. Understand? What you have now is just the agents of APC in PDP. Understand? And then, or the party, all they are going to do is to, that's what Adeneke did, that he has endorsed Tinubu for 2027 just to secure his. So this is cowardice, understand me? Because for me, if I was the chairman of PDP,
Right.
Damagu,
Yes.
I would have sacked Wike a week after that presidential election.
Again, let me ask you, why do you think he did not stop him?
Because he is Tinubu agent.
Okay.
He is Tinubu agent. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
If you enter any office, that's why I will forever be a Donald Trump fan. That's what is called disruptive innovation. If you don't do it, you cannot get things right. If you don't do it, you can never get things right. Things must not, it must not be business as usual. PDP is dead, and I don't like answering any question about PDP.
All right then. Let's take it to Benin City. The same question, Dr. Bright. Again, do you think that a party as huge as the PDP under the former President Olusegun Obasanjo, that was adjudged the biggest party in Africa with so much structure, do you think that party is not weighty enough and is dead, just like Dr. Peter rightly did mention a couple of minutes ago, going into any election circle in Nigeria? Plus, why again do you think the likes of Nyesom Wike has not been kicked out of the party to this time?
Well, first, we must note that the PDP that Obasanjo was in charge of is not the same PDP that we have today. That PDP has transformed over time. So it's not the same PDP. They may bear the same name, but if you look at the constituents, because it is people that makes a party what the party is.
Okay, so the people now is the reason why that PDP has changed. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, of course, okay. Because it was in that same PDP that was where the likes of Akpabio, who is currently the Senate president,
right,
is now. It was in that same PDP that the likes of Amechi, who was governor of Rivers State, not decamped to APC and is trying to be part of ADC. It was in that same PDP that the likes of Saraki and others were, and we know how they've all fared. So it is not the same PDP that was then with President Olusegun Obasanjo that we have now with what the PDP that is currently on ground. A lot of changes have taken place, and of course, if you look at 1999 to this particular time, is enough for transformation to have taken place. We had expected that the PDP should get stronger and get stronger, but they started getting weaker.
All right,
they started shooting themselves on the foot when they had the PDP arrow during the time of President Goodluck Jonathan. You know, some of them they started calling themselves the new PDP, and they, unknown to them, they were sabotaging the party. And what's the interest? Their own personal interest. So as it is now, unless something drastic happens, I don't see PDP getting back with ease unless Wike release his grip. And for that to happen, PDP has to check what Wike has planted in PDP that constantly gives him that power. For now, his hold on PDP is just too tight.
All right then, let me take this to Mr. Delifanimo in 30 seconds, 45 seconds thereabout. Please, you can help us manage that time. The PDP under, of course, like I said earlier, under the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, seemed to be one that a lot of quarters have said was about the strongest political party in the whole of Africa. Why do you think that party has become what it is right now? Dr. Bright has said this is because individuals have left. But I also want to ask on the part of individuals, what do you think the likes of Olubukola Saraki, also a stronghold with the PDP, is doing presently to also help in maybe strengthening the PDP again? And why is he silent? In 30 seconds, if you can, please.
There has not been any political culture in this country. Political culture died in Second Republic.
Oh.
And so what you have now are opportunists. The moment they feel a vehicle is good enough to take them to their destination, they hop in. The moment it breaks down, they move to another vehicle.
So that's about...
And that culture can never bring about a political culture that can sustain for a long time, that can be sustainable.
All right then.
And unfortunately, the breed of politicians in Nigeria today are all political opportunists.
All right then. We would be taking a very, very short break while we jump into the next conversation. We're still going to be talking about the PDP, and at this point, We'll be talking about the statement from the Bauchi State Governor urging the likes of Mr. Peter Gregory Obi to return to the PDP ahead of the 2027 general election. These and more is what we're talking about when we return from this quick break. Just stay with us.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand.
All right, then glad to have you back. It's still the morning buzz right here on Voice of the People Television. But let's get to the second conversation, shall we? The political landscape ahead of the 2027 general elections continues to shift, as the governor of Bauchi State and chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Bala Mohammed, has called on Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi to return to the People's Democratic Party. Speaking during Obi's visit to Bauchi State Government House, Governor Mohammed emphasized the need for opposition, of course, opposition unity, urging all opposition parties, including the PDP, the ADC, and all others to harmonize their interests for the good of Nigeria. He warned that without a clear national plan and focused governance, the country risks further political instability. Well, Mohammed also called on the to set aside political differences and rejoin the PDP. And of course, in response, Obi stressed the need for politics focused on development, competence, and compassion, not just for power. He donated 15 million naira to support education in Bauchi's 10 million naira to Malinkia College of Nursing Sciences and 5 million to Istisharu Quranic School, and of course praised the governor's efforts in the education sector. Well, still joining us to make sense of these stories, you know them already, is Dr. Peter Anosike right here in the studio, and of course Dr. Bright Noviokogo in our Edo studios, and also virtually Mr. Dele Fanimo. Gentlemen, thank you so very much for still staying with us. Let me start with Mr. Fanimo on this one. The situation surrounding the fact that almost everybody is calling on the likes of Peter Gregory Obi to come join and align with them to push up the train of wrestling power from the APC in 2027, seem to be consistent. And interestingly, as it stands, the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, also you know already, he is also the chairman of the Governors Forum of the PDP. You would also recall that as well. He's spoken clearly about the person of Peter Obi, stating that yes, he is a very noble person and should rejoin the PDP to push up for power in 2027. What's your general overview of this statement coming from the chairman of the PDP's Governors Forum and of course a sitting governor in the states in Nigeria?
For me, Peter Obi has been in PDP. He understands the terrain very well. And he knows what to do at the right time. But how strong is PDP today? Peter Obi does not have a war chest. The dynamics of 2023 may not be the same as the dynamics of 2027.
How do you mean? How do you mean by that statement?
Good. You see, the groundswell of opinion that swayed on the side of Peter Obi in 2023,
Yeah.
may not be the same as what is going on now. A lot of things that happened that will still happen till 2027. Now, there are clearly religious, ethnic, and other considerations.
Sorry to cut you, Mr. Fanimo. Sorry to cut your line of thought. I want to find out, and I need that clarity so that also Nigerians and Africans watching all over the world can understand. You said a groundswell that Peter Obi gathered in the 2023 general election may not be the same. In other words, are you saying that his popularity would have deepened down from what it's supposed to be based on the ethnic divide that you mentioned earlier?
The generality of the Gen Zs in 2023 were practically locked down. Christians from the south and even the north were practically locked down.
Okay.
But it may not be the same thing in 2027. Now, a lot of things that happened that had raised the consciousness of ethnic groups as to what they expect, as to what they want to do. I am saying this not for the optics, but from what I have gathered. I am a journalist. I've had interactions with people. I can tell you. Hello?
I'm with you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can tell you that the very weak platform that Peter Obi came with, Labour Party, that is movement, the obedient movement, was able to galvanize in 2023. A weak structure today may not avail Peter Obi the same leverage. So he will need a party that is strong in structure, like PDP, to contest the next election. But I'm also afraid that those people that are calling on him to come to PDP, are they sincere? Are we sure they are not setting booby traps? Are we sure that they are genuine in their intentions? Because I see that man as a very fragile commodity in the political space that shouldn't be rubbished. He has a whole lot of integrity mantra around him. And PDP is still in the vice grip of Wike. How much of relationship does Peter Obi have with Wike to be able to sustain himself in PDP? These are the dynamics that we have to look at. I don't talk from my heart, I talk from my brain.
All right then. All right then. I like the fact that you've just brought up that dynamics, which of course is going to want me to take it to Edo State. Now, Dr. Bright, I am certain that you're still with us. Mr. Fanimo just mentioned the major dynamics in the PDP, which is quite concerning because if you would also recall, the likes of Nyesom Wike is still in the PDP. I mean, you did mention earlier that he's also a stronghold of the PDP. He's working under the presidency of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going into 2027. If the likes of Peter Obi should make it into the PDP, wouldn't that be another time bomb waiting to happen, particularly for the political stability of the PDP and, of course, that of the person of Peter Obi going into 2027?
In my opinion, Peter Obi shouldn't make the mistake of going to PDP because there are different ways wherein it can be rubbish. You've just mentioned one, which is the issue of Wike, who wouldn't want any party to even come up to challenge the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So that would be a challenge for him, because anything that would make Wike to probably contest primaries in any of the political party, automatically he can be rubbish. In my own opinion, I feel that Peter Obi should stay put with his Labour Party and make amends and begin his mobilization. Because for now, I said it before and I'll still say it again, only APC has the structure. And they are the ones that are stable for now. That, they have a sense of direction to say this is who their candidate would be.
Well,
every other party don't have that.
Dr. Bright, sorry to cut your line of thought. You did say that he should stay, the President Peter Obi should stay with the Labour Party, but you understand that there's been some other cracks in that same Labour Party, which again, some quarters have said that is attributed to the fact that the presidency is infiltrating these other political parties just to have a clean slate when it comes to 2027. Also, you would recall that there was some level of relationship building with the person of the Labour Party's chairman. I'm talking about Julius Abure with Nyesom Wike sometime last week.
Has gone further to buttress my point.
Okay.
You know, as it is, let's say we have four parties. We have the APC, who for now appears stable. The PDP has challenge. Labour Party, they are in court being divided into part between the Abure and the Akpata faction. ADC has not found their foot. So it's a very big challenge as it is. But again, most persons who would determine the direction of the vote, most of them are not even aligned to any of these political parties. If I should say, even the supporters of Peter Obi, they may not necessarily be in any of these political parties, but they are just even waiting for where Peter Obi will pinch his tent. So for me, in my opinion, returning to PDP is a no-no, and even the ADC that has not found his footing. Peter Obi can go back and sit down, analyze these various political parties, and begin pitch a tent with one that is sure of, and begin to mobilize. Because I will still tell you, among all the candidates that will be paraded or that have been paraded so far or have indicated interest for 2027 election, Peter Obi is the only one that will give the current president a run, probably a competitive race as the case may be. So one thing that is standing now is, like I've said before, less than 2 years to this election, they are still happy that none of these political parties have been able to pinpoint a particular candidate for themselves. So for me, Peter Obi going to PDP is a no-no. Let him get one of these political parties and pitch his tent so he can start his mobilization. Like you said, Labour would have been the option for him for consistency, because it should also be seen jumping from one party to another. So he can also go to Labour, try his effort to amend whatever crack that is there and start his mobilization. Most of his supporters are not affiliated to any of these political parties. That is what I've observed so far.
Okay, then let's bring it back to the studio. Doctor, interestingly, this is a conversation that you are very, very familiar with. And I see you've been smiling all the way. And I was waiting and itching to even hear you. Looking at this position of PDP, I want to move away from it a bit. Even though you're still going to talk about it, let's talk to the part where the presidency did say that, like Atiku, so is Peter Obi. He is jumping parties. He moved from APGA to the PDP, from the PDP to the Labour Party, from the Labour Party now to the ADC, the coalition. And this is a man who says that he is huge on integrity. from your perspective, and of course, you would also recall that the obedient movement also said they were also not having some inclusivity with the ADC coalition. All of these surrounding situation, what do you think the person of Peter Obi, who of course you also know very well, has a very, very clear-cut statement of a 4-year rule if elected into office going into 2027?
Well, for me, for the presidency saying, and I could be like article, Peter Obi remains the most credible politician in the contrast we have today. The most credible.
Okay.
The only person that I can mention that even that I can say can be taken as half is Oshibajo.
Oh, okay.
Understand?
Okay.
That is the only that second name I can mention. All others are just like a house on Lagos Road. So PDP is playing a game. Understand? INEC is also doing the same thing, all because of P2B. Understand? Now, mind you, in Anambra,
Yes.
in Anambra, the governorship candidate is from the Julius Abure faction.
Okay.
That's the governorship candidate that INEC recognized.
Right.
In the person of George Morgano. So when they realize that when they continue on this path, P2B will not come back. Recently, they rejected the nomination from Julius Abure. Okay. Understand? Which the caretaker committee ignorantly commended the move, without knowing that INEC is setting a trap for them. Understand me? Okay. So they want to give that they have pushed Abure aside. No, understand? They want people to return there. So at the dying minute, they will recognize the presidential candidate that Abure will produce, so that P2B will not contest. Understand me?
Okay, that seems like a conspiracy theory on the part of INEC.
This INEC, understand me? So that's the same thing that PDP is doing. We are reorganizing. We are restructuring. PDP is now back. P2B should come back. Understand me? So they are setting a trap for P2B. Many months ago, I have started saying that if P2B wants to run as the president of this country, he should leave Labour Party. If I think he wants to run, he should leave PDP.
Oh.
Understand? So for people to be returning to the PDP in the 80s, there was one Western movie we used to watch called the Mission Impossible.
Right.
Understand? So people to be going back to PDP is Mission Impossible. Because who chased him out of PDP? It is Nelson Wike. It is Nelson Wike that chased P2B out of PDP. P2B did not voluntarily leave PDP. And Nelson Wike is still there, trying to kill PDP so that Tinubu will have a smooth sailing in 2027.
Well, I want to really stay a bit on this part of Nelson Wike. He did say in one of his media parley that the vampires, those were his words, that the vampires are waiting, thinking that he would leave the party. So when he leaves, they will come in. Do you think he was referring to the person of Atiku and, of course, Peter Obi in that state?
He was referring to Atiku.
Okay.
He was referring to Atiku. And for what Banda Mohammed is saying, if Nigerians know history, they shouldn't be making all these stupid mistakes that they are making. In 2023, Banda Mohammed worked against Atiku. Banda Mohammed, as PDP governor, worked against Atiku in 2023. Understand? Banda Mohammed and Atiku Abubakar are not on the same page. So it is them that want this vote to be divided. Banda Mohammed does not want Atiku to be president.
All right then. Because of our time, Doctor, I would really have loved to ask you some other major questions, but let me take it to Mr. Fanimo, where we have your concluding thoughts on these conversations that we've had all through the morning. In just 30 seconds, 1 minute because of our time. Mr. Fanimo, let's have a concluding thoughts, please.
Well, for me, P2B should be very, very circumspect. He should be very, very careful. And he should look well before leaping at all. Because the signs are ominous out there. These people is the person to contend with in the 2027 election. And so he must be very, very careful. Okay. Not everybody that sings Hosanna is lovers.
All right, then.
So I want to say that.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Fanimo. Let's take it to the Benin studio. Dr. Bright, your concluding thoughts on these conversations quickly.
Well, Peter Obi should stay and pitch his stance properly. He should stop mingling with people who Nigerians don't trust. He has come out to say he has not stolen money. So he shouldn't be seen pitching tent with those who have stolen money. Let me borrow the words of Dr. Anosike. Okay. Billionaires without enterprise. He shouldn't be mingling with them. Nigerians who are well-meaning can give him the needed votes that he wants, or rather that he needs. Thank you.
All right, then. Let's bring it back to the studio. Doctor, your concluding thoughts on this whole conversation.
PDP is a no-go area for P2B. That's my concluding thought.
All right, then. Well, I would urge you, gentlemen, to please stay with us, and while we take this other short break and come back with trends for this morning, and we'll wrap up the show from there on. So let's take this quick break. When we return, definitely trends will be up next. Stay with us.
Everybody keep watching Voice of the People. All right? Love you all.
Hello, sweetie. What's going on? My name is Kiki. Keep watching VOP TV. Thanks.
Hey, guys. What's going on? Olumide Oru, the Fresh Prince of Lagos here, and this is VOP TV, guys.
Hello, guys. I want you to please keep on watching VOP TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hafiz Oyetoro. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Shout out to VOP TV.
Very big shout out to the fans and lovers of VOP TV. My name is Tayo Faduro. I'm an actor that you are going to live to love. Keep watching. Cheers.
Hi everyone, so shout out to VOP TV.
Glad to have you back. It is still the Saturday morning buzz right here on Voice of the People Television. Now let's jump to some trends quickly, shall we? Now from October the 1st, Emirates Airline will prohibit the use of power banks on board all its flights. But the Dubai-based carrier made the announcement following comprehensive safety review, citing the growing number of lithium battery-related incidents across the aviation industry. While passengers may still carry power banks, they must now ensure that the devices are stored either in the seat pocket or in a bag placed under the seat, not in the overhead bin. Power banks will continue to be banned in checked luggages in line with existing rules. Well, the airline emphasized that many low-cost power banks lack essential safety mechanisms, increasing the risk of overheating, fire, or even explosion due to thermal runaway. Emirates says banning usage with mid-flight and keeping the devices within cabin reach ensures crew can respond quickly in emergencies. Reaffirming its commitment to passenger safety, the airline described the new rule as a proactive step in maintaining industry-leading safety standards. Now, let's jump to another trending conversation. Interesting as well, Fuji legend Wasiu Ayinde, K1 The Ultimate, has publicly apologized and admitted to most allegations except consuming alcohol after facing backlash over an incident on a value jet flight that, of course, could see him fined up to 26.7 million naira and jailed for life. In a 2-minute video, he claimed the bottle in question was empty at security checks and later filled with water for medical reasons, while repeatedly apologizing to President Bola Tinubu, the pilot, aviation authorities, and his fans. The apology follows video evidences and official calls for prosecution over his alleged unruly behavior, including attempting to block the aircraft's takeoff, assaulting crew members, and carrying unapproved substances, with Nigerians divided over forgiving him or enforcing legal penalties. I understand from my producers that we have that video, so let's just have that video in a couple of seconds, and let's listen to what K1 the Ultimate did say in that video.
Men here present. My name is Olasukomi Inde Marshall, also known as K1 the Ultimate. I am here to make clarification of the incident that happened on the 5th of August 2025 at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport local wing while about to board aircraft from Abuja to Lagos. The incident is highly regrettable because I have contributed the better part of my life in the past 50 years to the growth and development of Nigeria, my country, art and culture, both in and out of the country. I've been a good ambassador of this great nation, in and out, in very many ways. Somebody like me should not be found in such incidents. I accept responsibility and appealing to Mr. President, the country, the Honorable Minister for Aviation, the FAAN, the NCAA, and my fans across the globe to please pardon my behavior. Number one, I passed through 2 checkposts and the content of my cup was screened. Need to say I have any content in the cup. Until I got to the lounge while awaiting the boarding of the aircraft, I pour water in it because of my health situation. I need to be sipping water because I'm dehydrated, as recommended by doctor to me. Like I said, I take full responsibility of all incidents. Once again, I seek forgiveness from Mr. President, the Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is also my father and father of the nation, the Honorable Minister for Aviation, the pilot, the airline staff, passengers, and above all, my fans across the globe, my family, for the incident. My love for the country is unshakable. I am still the darling ambassador of our nation, and I'll continue to carry the banner of this great country everywhere.
All right then. Well, that yes, is the video of K1 the Ultimate apologizing to Nigerians, and of course the presidency and the Minister of Aviation and Aeronautics Space, the person of Barrister Festus Keyamo, SAN. And maybe because of our time, I would like my analysts today to have their voice on this particular incident, that of the K1 the Ultimate, and of course Emirates Air saying power banks will be banned on flights and all of that. Let's react to this situations, this trending situations quickly. I'm going to start from our Benin studio. Dr. Bright, let's have your opinion on these conversations that you've listened to.
Okay, well, first on the ban of power bank, if it's based on safety and they've done the needed safety analysis and they've come to that conclusion, is something that they can actually be strict with, so that people would comply with it. So there's no, you can't compromise risk of fire for anything, especially in an airline. Then on the second talk that has to do with the Wasiu Ayinde thing, you see, apologies are there, but if it has gone the other way around, like watching the video, seeing the plane running, he has to kind of bend down close to the blade, close to the tire. Some days ago, rather some weeks ago, somebody was sucked in by the engine of a plane, and that was the end. If it was crushed by the plane, the tires of the plane, that would have been another thing. And there should be a big lesson here, in the sense that he was being arrogant. It was being arrogant. People are on duty doing their job. Whatever instruction they give to you, you have to take it. What got into him to start challenging authorities that they have? Even some thought even said he even poured the content of what he has on the drink, on the whether it's a drink or whatever, the content of his bottle on is it the pilot or some other flight attendant in that place. That's the peak of it all. Is the one that called himself into the mud, and for himself, for somebody who is saying is an ambassador, that is a no-no. This is not the first time he's entering a flight. If he was in the waiting room, he needed water. I'm a medical doctor. I don't know what ailment he had that he's been dehydrated on. If he's at the lodge where he was waiting, he took a lot of water. And if he is on board the airline, he could have also asked the air hostess to help him with extra water without him having to start carrying containers and some other things with content that we don't know. Well, I don't know. This is Nigeria. He has not only embarrassed himself, he has also embarrassed us as a country. So whosoever wants to accept the apology should accept, but others should take note. Anybody you see carrying out a particular duty, let us respect those persons.
All right, then. Let's take it to Mr. Dele Fanimo to hear his thoughts as well on the both conversations that we've read out. Mr. Dele Fanimo, your turn to let us know what your opinions are, particularly on these situations that we've read out earlier.
It was a shameful incident, and I think one should take away two things here. A lot of people need to see people like us that are trained psychologists to help them in emotional intelligence and anger management. You see, anger is just one letter short of danger. Just make D before the anger, it becomes danger. Okay. Now, in retrospect, if you can close your eyes and imagine what would have happened to Wasiu Ayinde if he had been sucked into the engine of that aircraft. Or maybe the tire runs over him. Those tires, because they are not close to our view, for those who have been to the airport, are not just ordinary tire you find on maybe cars. Okay. And look at the weight that tire is carrying. So maybe it's a lesson for some other people that, look, when you are confronted with anger, you should understand ways and means of managing that anger. A lot of people have that issue, and it's psychological. So we need to work on that. Right. Then I also want to commend the handlers of Wasiu Ayinde for making him face the reality and making him realize that he cannot just get away with this. And although a little bit belated, this would have happened maybe yesterday or later in the day when the incident happened. But by and large, it is still good that he was made to apologize, because the Wasiu Ayinde that I know ordinarily wouldn't have considered to this apology if he was not forced to do it.
All right, then. I'm still going to stay with you, and I'm going to take the same question to Dr. Bright before I come wrap it up from the studio here. The fact that, yes, not only you, some persons have said the Kwam one that they know is not one who seeks to apologize him, but then he's apologized. But the question I want to ask is, as it stands, should he be used as an example to any other person who might want to do such in the country? Mr. Fanimo, I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, I think because of network, we can't get him to answer that question. But let me take it back to Benin City. Doctor, again, the same question is what I'm going to ask. If there is no action taken on such persons, some persons might want to do it another day. What do you think should be done, even though he has apologized?
Well, apologies ordinarily shouldn't take away maybe some consequences. He has violated some laws, and the laws should take his place, because laws are put in place to serve as deterrent. If the law does not take his place, automatically people would also do the same thing tomorrow. Apology is one thing, but the law should take its place so it can serve as a deterrent to others. Because let's assume the tire crushed him and he's dead. Is there any amount of apology that will bring him back? Or if probably the whatever chemical, whatever substance that was in that container that he poured on the attendant, and that person took it in another way and it resulted to something worse, would apology also bring it back? Or at the point when he was acting, what actually went on him? Yes, apology accepted, but that shouldn't stop him from facing whatever consequence of the law that he has violated.
All right, then. Thank you so very much, Doctor. Let's. I don't know if Mr. Fanimo is back. I need a talk back if he's back.
Yes, I'm back.
Oh,
I'm back.
So the question, I don't know if you heard my question. Should the law still take its course? Because the person in question has apologized.
You see, apology is just a way of mitigating the punishment for an offense. That's why in court they will say, do you have allocutors? What can you say to mitigate the level of punishment that will be meted out to you? A crime has been committed, an offense has been committed. It has to stand up to face the consequence of that action. For instance, if he was to have been sentenced to maybe 2-3 years imprisonment for that breach, maybe because of the apology and the emotional attachment to it by Nigerians, maybe they can give him just 3 months and an option of fine. But at least it must be registered that you don't do this and get away with it.
All right, then. Thank you so very much, Mr. Fanimo. Let me wrap it up from the studios here. Doctor, your general overview of the both conversations, that of the Emirates and, of course, that of Kwam One.
They are related somehow, because both of them are talking about safety.
Right.
They're talking about safety.
Yes.
So both the power bank and the alcohol, because that's alcohol. That's alcohol, understand me? And the power bank, all of them are about safety.
Okay.
So Jesus came to forgive sins, not to wipe away history. Understand? Okay. He came to forgive sins, not to wipe away history. So that history of his offense is still there. And what happened there was arrogance at work. I'm the friend of the president, nothing can happen to me. Understand? That's what gave him that boldness to be challenging, to be attacking everybody. Because he is the friend of the president, therefore exception should be made for him.
But ignorance of the law is not absence of the law.
No, I'm telling you what gave him that boldness.
Okay.
Because he's a friend of the president, he should have exceptions. The rules should not apply to him. That's what happened there. Understand? So he has erred and apologized. That's one thing that brings me that to people is having the capacity to accept responsibility.
All right.
Saying I'm sorry is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength.
Okay.
So for me, he has committed a very serious offense and has apologized, understand me? But for me, he should still be made to serve as a deterrent to other people.
All right.
Because tomorrow another person can also want to do the same thing and also apologize. After all, Kwam One did the same thing, did it and apologized, and then and was forgiven. Therefore, if I should do it, I can apologize and also be forgiven.
Oh well.
So he should be made to serve as a deterrent to others.
Okay then.
But with the apology, they should tamper justice with mercy.
All right, then that is where we have to draw anchor on the show this beautiful Saturday morning. Well, we want to say a big thank you to everyone who made this possible, all of our analysts that had, of course, their voice on the conversations. And we've been talking with Dr. Peter Anosike, who is Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst, and of course, an economist by profession, and also, yes, I must put that in, a major writer right here in Nigeria. Thank you so very much, Doctor, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Also, we had also virtually Mr. Dele Fanimo, a seasoned reporter right here in Nigeria, and also Voice of the People TV's in-house political affairs analyst as well. Mr. Fanimo, thank you so very much for being here. And then all the way from our Benin studio, we had Dr. Bright Onyovokogo, who is a medical doctor and also a public and political affairs analyst and commentator, a human rights activist and advocate as well. Dr. Bright, thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, then, on behalf of myself and the entire backroom staff who made this production very worthwhile, I want to say thank you to all of our teaming viewers who had the best of time with us on the show this beautiful morning. We would urge you to consistently stay with VOP, because with us, you have more than a voice. Thank you so very much again to everyone who made, of course, this show possible. And to you out there on a beautiful weekend like this, I would say, as always, don't forget to always pray for this great country, Nigeria. There is no nation like ours. Until we'll come here again, same time next weekend, maybe, of course, with another person as well. I want to say do have an amazing weekend ahead. God bless Nigeria.